Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the United Stands. I've got Paul INCE on the show. We're talking last night, Liverpool. How are you doing, Paul?
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. Very, very good. I'm sitting here. I'm not at home. I'm with my friends in Wimbledon. Went out last night for a few drinks. That's why I'm sitting here with my pajamas on, as you can see. I like to switch it up every day, you know what I mean, now and then.
The best people wear pajamas. I was in my pajama bottoms last night celebrating Ronaldo. But first of all, I just got to say, happy birthday. Paul INCE's birthday today. Happy birthday. You share it with Vidic?
No, Vidic shares it with me. Get that right.
Exactly. I knew you'd say that. I knew you'd correct me.
Yeah.
But no, it's great to have you on the show. We're grateful for it because it's such, especially on your birthday, because it's such a big game coming up at the weekend, Liverpool, Man United. Obviously, we don't know which team you'll support because you play for both.
I won't be supporting any team, to be fair. Honestly, I won't be. No, I won't be.
You've surprised me there.
Why?
Playing both sides.
Well, I just think you just I just want a game where it's going to be a proper game. You know, we always talk about the Liverpool clashes, you know, Man United clashes back in the day. I mean, I played in the 3-3 at Anfield, you know, where we went 3-1 up when Giggsy scored and Dennis Irwin scored. And, you know, it's probably one of the best games I've ever been party to. And it was a classic game it was. And I think Neil Ruddett scored in the last 5 minutes to make it 3-3. But what a game of football it was. And it was like a heavyweight clash. It was like there was challenges all over the pitch, him against him, so-and-so against him. And then in recent years, it's kind of not been like that. You know, it's been quite dull, and it may be the way teams set up. I remember Marino going to Anfield and, as we say, parking the bus. You know, and Klopp coming up and moaning, saying, "Oh, you know, they don't really try and win the game, United." And that's been the case for a few times now with these big games. So, you know, I want to see a proper game of football. You know, I want to see two teams going at it. And, you know, that's what I'm hoping for on Sunday. Sometimes, you know, it's like when you watch a heavyweight fight and they build it up week after week and they just spar each other for 12 rounds. You think, well, you know, what a waste of time that was. So I'm not going to support anybody. I just want to see a really good game of football.
Well, we'll get into that Liverpool game in a minute because it is massive. And but first of all, I want to talk about the game last night because obviously it's been an interesting week. You know, we got smashed by Leicester, which we spoke about on Monday, and then we win last night. But the first thing I want to do, because look, I didn't make it as a footballer, but I think even if you make it as a footballer, not everyone makes it at the level you made it, which is playing for England, playing for Manchester United. We're 2-0 down at half-time. I'm watching that game and I'm like, we're attacking the Stretford end. I've seen it. We can definitely do this. And I don't think Ollie said anything. I don't think Ollie did anything else because in the first half, I don't think he was chewing gum. I think he put a bit of chewing gum in, shouted at him and said, go for it. And I think the players responded. But what is it like? Because, you know, you were playing in those games where Stevie Bruce did it against Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, for me, the fans, even now, I'm getting a bit of goosebumps. I thought they were fantastic last night. But you've played attacking that Stretford end. What does it do to you? Because, you know, because to me, it looked like the players just were down and out, and then something changed in that second half. And is it a coincidence you're attacking the Stretford end?
Yeah, listen, I think the fans changed it. You know, listen, we know at half time there was some boos going on, and that was worrying because I think because the fans have been absolutely fantastic this season. They really, really have. And I've said before that normally it should be the players who get the fans going. It seems to me at Old Trafford that the fans are getting the players going. Yeah. And then just to hear the boos at half time, and you could hear the murmurs going on during the game every time someone misplaced a pass, you could sense the fans were starting to really get frustrated. You really, really could. And it looked like it affected the players. Second half, you know, the fans would just started singing, you know, and I don't think it's anything to do with the Stretford, and I really don't. You know what I mean? You know, I think people say, listen, when Liverpool shoot towards the Kop, that's when they seem to start scoring goals, and you always try to turn around the first half. But I just think when the fans are like that, it just inspires you. It really, really does. And it affects the opposition, and they get deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you just start taking control of the game. And I think we saw that last night. Listen, I'm going to sit here and say United played well. I thought they played okay yesterday. I mean, the first half, Rashford should have scored a couple. Fred, you know, should have scored. They had one or two opportunities at Atalanta. And you find yourself 2-0 down. You think, bloody hell, are we 2-0 down? So from a performance point of view, I thought United did okay. I really, really did. And it was just a case of getting that goal. And the thing is, when United score in the Stretford end, a goal that they'd scored, then I've seen it time and time again. Teams just start to crumble. Teams start to panic, and you could just sense the kind of crowd just pulling you towards the Stretford end all the time, you know, and pulling the opposition back. And that's what we saw last night. And fortunately, fortunately, we got the goals that I thought we deserved to win the game. I can sit here now and say we actually deserved to win the game.
I agree.
You know, and I'm not sure defensively we would have considered another 2 goals. You know, somehow down the line, I'm not sure what we're doing again. Keep conceding goals. 4 against Leicester, another 2. Got Liverpool coming up. That's something that's got to be a concern for Ollie. You know, I mean, even the second goal, and I'm thinking, and I mentioned it against Leicester when we did the show last week, and I said, why have United got 5 players going past the near post? They did exactly the same again last night. 5 United players had gone past the near post for 1 ball, left 3v3 in the box, and Demiro scores. So they're not learning their lessons from the defensive point of view. The first one, McTominay, he's man. He looks at him 3 times. Got to get the other side of him. Doesn't. These little things will hurt you when you come to play Liverpool, because the likes of Mane and Salah, Firmino, Jota, whoever's going to play will make those little runs. The movement's going to be very, very precise. And if we don't stay with them and do the right things, then United will get beat on Sunday. But going back to the Atalanta game, it was one of those games. Rio said it was like, that's more like the Man United that we were used to seeing. That's got to be the yardstick for the next 3 or 4 or 5 games or the rest of the season. You know, I don't think it was. I think it was just Champions League football. I think it was desperation football. I think the fans were unbelievable. I really, really do. I think they got the win for the United boys. No, it wasn't anything else. But apart from that, you can't keep going 2 goals down against teams and expect to come back 3-2. We've seen it last year, the year before. We're talking about the comeback Kings. Did that at Southampton a couple of years ago. You can't keep doing that. You know, you can't keep going 2 goals down. And as much as it was a great win, as much as it was an important win, and top of the Champions League table, it was another win where you've got to start asking more questions. You know, can we defend the 2 midfield again? You know, too many gaps down the left-hand side, right-hand side, too easy for Atalanta to get down the wings. You can't allow that against Liverpool. I know Ollie went a 4-2-4 formation.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because I thought that this 4-2-4, for me, I didn't see a 4-2-4. I saw it for most of the first half. I described it as a back 8. Rashford and Greenwood were trying. He's trying to pretend that it was, you know, this bloody attacking, fast-flowing football. I thought it was a lot of long balls in the first half, trying to get Rashford in behind, because they were like an Italian Leeds to me. They were wide open, and they fell apart. But I was going to ask you that tactically. You know, we were talking just before we went live there about Paul Scholes on BT wasn't very happy about it, which is quite surprising, because you know they've been quite loyal to Ollie, but you know you sense that frustration starting to kick in now, because people don't like. Well, every United fan likes winning like that, but people don't like it when people take a result like that and start going, everything's fine, it's back to normal. I think that's probably what you're saying as well. You can see that that's a great result, and I'm really happy about it, but it doesn't give you a lot. I mean, even the team he picked last night, I don't think that's, you know, McTominay and Fred and 2 wide forwards. I don't really think that's a team that's going to go and light up the league for the next few weeks. I hope I'm wrong, but
no. And listen, I think, and he's got to decide. I mean, the 4-2-4 that he picked up, that he played, you know, they were 2-0 down at half time. So, you know, I know United had chances, you know, but they were still 2-0 down to a team who had 4 or 5 of their best players missing. Let's get that right first, you know. So, did that 4-2-4 work? Probably not. You know, now they've got the result. What does he do on Sunday? Because obviously Pogba came on, he made changes. You know, Matic came on. So, again, we're in a situation where he's got to get the right team for Sunday. He's got to pick the right team, and I couldn't tell you now, sitting here, what that team's going to be. You know, I think Maguire still looks miles off it. I do, I really do. But does Pogba play? It's a big game. He's a so-called big player. You know, again, he finds himself on the bench. we're sitting
Just
here.
on that, as a midfielder yourself, because I actually thought Fred, I mean, he's not got many good games to choose from, but that was probably one of I think it's probably his best game of the season, which tells you how bad he's been this year. I thought Fred was all right. I still don't get it with McTominay. I just see average performances with him. So to me, I mean, I agree with you. What do you think he will do in that game? Because, I mean, I suppose the guess is that he'll just start McTominay and Fred again, and he might start Rashford and Greenwood again and keep everyone on the bench, even though the team in the second half really was about the subs, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was about the subs. Yeah, and I think this is the problem that Ollie's got. This is the dilemma that he's got. Trying to, when you've got so many players. I mean, Rashford came back in, and Rashford gives you something different. As I said, it gives you that pace, it gives you the running behind. And he's still early doors for Rashford. He hasn't played for 2 or 3 months, but you can see he's a threat. He makes great runs. Yeah, his finishing wasn't great, but you can expect that. So he's going to stay. I would like to think he sticks with Rashford. Now Rashford's back. What happens to Sancho? Does it? We just paid £72 million for Sancho. So is he not going to play? We've offered 400 grand a week for Paul Pogba. Allegedly, he's stuck on the bench.
Makes no sense, does it?
It's all gone up in the air. So, he's got so many options, but that's not the recipe for success. It's finding your best team and sticking with it. And if you're going to upset Pogba or Ronaldo, whoever it may be, who cares? You've got to find that consistency and that fluidity in the team. But if you keep changing 3 or 4 players every game, you're never going to get it. You're going to get what we're getting now: 1 win, 2 draws, couple of losses. But you're right. Liverpool's a massive, massive game for me. That's a game where, I'm looking at that game at half time and I'm thinking, first half, they could have been 2 or 3, 4 down. I'm thinking, if that's Liverpool, you are, and you ain't getting back into it. And I'm thinking,
I suppose the positive is that it's at Old Trafford, isn't it? Because I think if that was Anfield, I wouldn't fancy this at all. Because it's Old Trafford, I just think the positivity of the second half, the crowd will obviously be up for it because it's Liverpool, and you just hope that I'm fed up of using the word hope, but you just hope you can go and get a result. But I don't know about what you think. I just don't think we learn a lot from last night. I just think it was an event. It's like going and watching a boxing match. It was like, oh, that was amazing, and I'm really happy this morning. But we've got to go and have another one. And the trouble with football is you've got to have 3 boxing matches a week, and you want a bit of consistency. And I just think that was one of those ones where it was a classic fight. They had the first few rounds, we came back and we win it at the end. And you're like, that's not going to work against Liverpool or Man City over the next few weeks. And I just don't know what we're going to get.
Well, it's not going to work in the Premier League because it's a completely different mindset. And it's funny and it's strange. And you think a football game's a football game, whether it's a League Cup or FA Cup or Premier League, but it's not. It has a different feel when you're playing a Champions League game. You're playing a team from abroad. It's a different way.
The crowd has a different feel, doesn't it? Because you play Champions League nights. They are very different.
They're completely different. And listen, I'm telling you now, the United fans be up for it on Sunday. But whether it's at Old Trafford or Anfield, Everton went to Old Trafford. Villa went to Old Trafford and won. So I don't think the fact that it's at Old Trafford is going to be any kind of advantage for Manchester United on the way they're performing at the moment. I just feel, and we said it last week, this is a game that he has to win. And I think maybe last night people might think, oh, well, it's we're okay now. It takes a bit of pressure off Ollie. It's a completely different tournament. It's a completely different competition. 45 minutes into last night, making up the bottom of the Champions League table. Remember that. And this is about bread and butter. This is about a rivalry. This is about a big, big game. And listen, the positive thing is that United can now go in that game with a lot of belief that they can win. If they'd have lost last night, you can imagine, can't you? The criticism that had been going their way leading up to the Liverpool game, would have been all negativity. So at least that last 45 minutes gives them a bit of positivity. And the fans, the belief that they can go and beat Liverpool, because they can. We know, listen, Man United on their day, we know that can beat anyone on their day. It's how many on the days they have. And we're hoping on Sunday that's on their day. That's when we hope that they perform and beat Liverpool, because then we might be thinking, are we turning a corner? But sometimes when you win football matches as a manager, you can think everything's okay. Fans think everything's okay. And you said that, Marky. I don't think it's okay. The way they're playing, the way the team's set up, yeah, they got the result and it was great. It was a great night of football. But are they learning from the mistakes? Because at the moment they're conceding too many goals, and you're asking Manchester United to score 2-3 goals a game just to win a game. You know, there lies a problem. So defensively, they're not right. So obviously, when I say defensively, I don't just mean the back four and the back five. Again, David Gea was fantastic last night. Made 2 vital saves in the second half. That could have changed the pattern of the game from Zapata. But
do you not think with De Gea? I was thinking about this morning in the shower. I wasn't thinking about De Gea in the shower. I was just thinking about football. But I don't do that. But I was thinking, it's amazing because the news in the summer was that Henderson was going to be his number one. And then he got this COVID thing, so he had to go with De Gea. And I just think Ollie's a very lucky guy that COVID's about. I mean, because I'm not saying Ollie's like grateful about COVID. It's a horrible, horrible thing. But Dean Henderson was expected to be that goalkeeper. I don't think Dean Henderson makes some of the saves that De Gea's made this season. And if he doesn't make those saves, they're literally job-saving saves. Southampton, Wolves, last night. There's been so many of them. You know, that was 2-1 when he made that double save as well. That's over, and we're having a very different conversation. And Ollie wasn't even sure on De Gea. It's, you know, it just shows you this coaching and managerial decision. It's just, you just never know what's going to happen. You can't get confident.
No, and that's why, you know, Alex Ferguson said it's probably better to be a lucky manager than a good manager, because you know, it seems that way at the moment. And yeah, I mean, David Gea has been outstanding. Henderson came in towards the back of last season, and I always thought it was always going to be a tough one for Henderson. You know, being at Old Trafford in front of those fans, it's different to being where he's been at Sheffield United. You know, this is Old Trafford. There's an expectation, and towards the back, and he made a couple of mistakes, and I thought, is he quite right yet? And to be fair to David Gea, you know, he said he wants to go and fight for his number one place, and he's come back in and he's been absolutely outstanding. That's been very fortunate for Ollie in many of the games this season. But what it shows me is he's not getting enough protection as a goalkeeper. You know, from the back four, from the two in midfield.
How do you be man of the match and concede 4 goals? It tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and they're the things that Ollie needs to look at. You know, as much as we won last night, we've now conceded another 2 goals again at home. You know, something's not quite right. Is it the setup with the midfield players not doing their jobs? I mean, the amount of times I saw Fred and McTominay out on the wing having to cover the spaces that were left. You know, it's just too open. You know, you can't keep playing football like that. And if you do, you'll get beat.
It makes me laugh, actually, because, you know, people talk about Ronaldo not tracking back. I thought Ronaldo, even before the goal, I thought he played really, really well. He's working hard for the team, etc. Again, Ronaldo, because I don't know, because it's foreign or just because it's Ronaldo. But no, I never hear people talking about Rashford and Greenwood tracking back. And I love both of them, but they don't track back. And in the modern game, well, Giggsy used to do it. I remember Giggsy tracking back the slide tackle and winning it back in the left back position. You know, your wingers we have a guy called Ricky on, and he loved Dan James basically because he tracked back, didn't do much going forward. But Rashford and Greenwood don't track back, and therefore you're going to leave spaces. The amount of times Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka get double teamed, it's ridiculous.
It is. But what I'm saying to you, if we can see that, surely they can see that. If they can't see it, then there's a problem. Because I'm telling you now, if I'm sitting in that midfield alongside Keeney, you know, and Giggsy and Kanchelskis or Beckham, whoever's on those sides, I'm making sure they're back in shape. And it's cool.
Beckham was brilliant at tracking back as well, wasn't he? As was Kanchelskis, yeah.
Yeah, it was getting back in shape, you know, as I said. And if there's no demands from the team, from the players, or from the leaders, so-called leaders, to say, "Hey, Rashford, back in here, you get back in here," and we play from there. And there's nothing from Ollie on the side or Mickey Phelan or Carrick saying, "This ain't right." You know, from the first 5 minutes in the first game, the game last night, you could see where the problem was. You can see it was down the sides. You can see that it was getting, and we didn't do nothing about it. We didn't do nothing about it. Now that baffles me. And we can't, as a managing staff, you can't see that and put demands. It's just like, oh well, we're playing 2-4-2-4. I don't think we was playing 2-4-2-4. I wasn't too sure what we were playing. You know, sometimes it looked like a 4-4-2, then a 4-2-3-1. It was just like
I personally think that was done for the fan who doesn't really understand football. Who Ollie can say, "I played a 4-2-4," and everyone can go, "Well, he's trying to play attacking football." We didn't play a 4-2-4.
Listen,
we did it in the second half. We did because we went for it, but in the first half, that was not a 4-2-4.
Yeah, but the 4-2-4 doesn't mean you're playing attacking football. You know, this right. You know,
it's bloody naive at this level to play 4-2-4, isn't it?
It's Liverpool or City, you get smashed. You know, Liverpool play a 4-3-3. Make City play a 4-3-3. You know, all the top teams, Barca 4-3-3. You know, so you know, that seems to be the attacking football model. So this 4-2-4 didn't work for me in the first half. Yeah, we had a couple of chances, but it didn't work. And I just think, you know, you can't keep messing about before. It looks like Ranieri. It looks like a bit like the Tinker Man, where we're tinkering with formations, we're tinkering with players. You can't.
That's what he did at Cardiff at the end.
Yeah, you can't keep doing it. And you know, but let's go back to that. We've got to be positive. It was a great comeback again. Many times we said that about United. It was a great comeback, great win. At least they can go.
Why do they? That's the point. Just before I ask you about Liverpool, I was moaning about this last night. I said I really enjoyed it. The second half, it was great. All I want to do is see United winning. But God, I've said it so many times, and you're right. It's happened so many times. Why does he have? Why? Well, he is the manager, so why? I was going to say why do United? Why does Solskjaer's teams have to go behind to start playing anything like the United way? And the second half yesterday was attacking, where there was lots of chances, but if we're not behind, he's not interested, is he? It's almost like he just wants to win it 1-0 and nick a win. And yet, when we go 2-0 down, we can go and score 3 goals. It's just weird mentality for a manager that he just doesn't want to go for it from minute 1.
Yeah, I think he's a very, very defensive. You know, we used to say defensive, yet we're conceding goals left, right, and centre. But if we go back to last season, you know, he had this kind of mindset that Man United were a counter-attacking team. You know, when they defend deep and break from there. You know, it would never open up and take the game to oppositions because I think maybe because he knew defensively the team wasn't that great, and we've seen that this season. But people keep using this word United way. I want to know what this United way is because I'm getting confused. You know what the United way is because Ollie keeps using that terms. You know, United way. You know, United way wasn't sitting back. United way was from the off, first whistle, getting at teams, you know, opening teams up, playing quick football, 1 and 2 touch. You know, that was United way. And I think people get kind of confused of what this United way is. You know, I think United way come from when we started playing football, when we started winning trophies. It's actually United way because that's when we first started winning trophies. You know, Ollie's team don't play like that. They play very reserved. And they're so sometimes pedestrian. And this is what happens why they go down because the amount of times they go square, and it's so slow and methodical, and all of a sudden they find themselves a goal down, and they've got to try and raise the tempo, which is always tough.
Well, you've got to take risks. You've got to pass forward, haven't you, when you're losing?
You've got to take even if you're not losing, you've got to take risks anyway. That's the way the best teams and the most successful teams will take risks, and they try things. And if it doesn't work, they keep doing it. You know, and this is something that United don't do. You know, they kind of sit deep. Oh, we're a goal down. Right, we need to open up now. And when they open up, they do open up, and either get beat 4 or they come back and win 3-2. This is what we're seeing at the moment. And I presume on Sunday they'll probably defend deep again. I don't think they'll play counter-attacking football against Liverpool. Liverpool won't come to Old Trafford and go, oh, we're going to sit back. You know, they won't do that. They're going to come to Old Trafford, and their blueprint is to play the way they play. It will not change one iota. You know,
which is a shame because I wish United had an identity like a Man City or a Liverpool. But look, you mentioned it before. Let's talk about Liverpool. You mentioned, look, the Champions League is the Champions League, and it should just be closed into that draw because when it comes to the Premier League, we've taken 1 point from 9. Mm-hmm. We are dropping down the table, and late winners against Villarreal and Atalanta, who, let's be honest, aren't heavy hitters in Europe. They're not considered to be great teams in Europe. So we're back into the Premier League. 1 point from 9. Liverpool at home. You saw. Well, I watched Liverpool as well on Tuesday night. How do you feel this game is going to go? Because I would say, even though I want to see the United way, I would not go against Liverpool and try and do what we did in that second half because we will get annihilated. They're a better team with a better coach and they've been playing a system for years. It would take a miracle for us to go toe-to-toe with them and beat them. He's going to have to set up in a way to try and cause them problems, which probably will be counter-attacking again, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always tough because when you're playing at home, you know, like United are on Sunday, the fans, you know, the atmosphere is going to be electric. Let's get this right. You know, the fans want you to go at Liverpool. That's what the fans will be saying. Let's have a go at them. You know, let's not sit back. We're at home. Let's go for them. You know, that's if I was a manager now, I'd be saying, right, I need to get my setup right, my team right, but we're going to go for them because Klopp's thinking about going there saying, listen, Man United are going to sit deep. They're going to try and counter attacks with Rashford and Greenwood, the pace. We know what Man United are going to do, you know. So if it was me, I would say we ain't going to sit deep. We're going to press high because Liverpool play it from the back. We're going to press high. We're going to try and nick it in the final third and create chances and get goals. That's the way I would approach the game. Whether Ollie does, I'm not sure because we know it's a massive game for him. It's all about how he feels in his team. You know, I mean, how he feels he wants to go about it. Because the last thing as we said, if we Liverpool go up, then Man United will have to open up, and that's when Liverpool will pick it to pieces. But we saw in the Champions League midweek, Liverpool defensively looked kind of a bit shabby, looked conceding goals. You know, they didn't look great. But
Brentford
for me
as well, Brentford scored 3 against them.
Yeah, exactly. So that, you know, let's not sit and say this is an impossible task. Let's not kind of, you know, this is like where form goes out the window. It doesn't matter where United are or Liverpool are on the table. I've played in enough of these games. You know, this game for me is about one, discipline. You know, we've seen players lose their head, make stupid decisions. Concentration is vital. To win these games, you've got to have every player 8 out of 10. You can't carry any passengers. You know, that's how you win these big games. You know, and I just think it's all about, for me, the front three of both teams. If he goes with a front three, you know, can United's defence deal with the likes of Salamani and Firmino? You know, and can, you know, Van Dijk and Matic deal with the likes of Greenwood, Ronaldo, and Rashford? That's it for me. The midfield is a concern because I think midfield Liverpool are very, very strong. And can McTominay and Fred deal with the likes of Fabinho, Henderson? I don't think so. I really, really don't. And I've always
I'd be surprised if they did because they're just levels above both of those players.
Does he put another one in there? You know, does he put 3 in the middle of the park? You know, and you know, I'm one of those. And you know, if you win the midfield battle, 9 times out of 10 you win the game because you've got control of the game. So there's a lot of questions that we're answering now, but you know, they've still got to believe that United can go and win that game. As I said, it's like a one-off game. It's like another event, as you said, Marky, before. This is like another event. I know it's the Premier League, but it's the game everyone looks forward to. And on their day, they're at home. There's no reason why United can't win it.
I think we have to win it. I think it will be a draw, but I think we have to win it because if he wins this, he'll be in post beyond Christmas. He can feast off this for months. Definitely, it's one of those games. So he's got to do it. If he wins this game, because it's in the league as well and it's against Liverpool, he can live off it for a long time. But I think that also look at the league. It's dangerous. It's dangerous where we are. It's a 38 game season. It's not all just about Liverpool. And if we were to lose this or even draw it, there's a lot of teams coming up behind us, and you start dropping down to 6th, 7th, 8th, and all that. And it's like City, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, all to come in the next few weeks. He's got to get a result in this game. And as I said, the Champions League is a great win, but you only get through a group stage. Champions League's not really started till February, so we can't live off that. He's got to go and win this. And I like what you said about pressing from the front, because I think the way to hurt Liverpool is to actually utilise that atmosphere and put a bit of pressure on them, make them panic a little bit on the ball. Because if we sit back and let them get to the edge of the box with people Salah and Mane and that, I think they'll pick us off.
Yeah, they will do. They will do. And that's something I'm sure, well, you'd like to think him and his staff are aware about. And but you're right. I think the Liverpool game, I don't think, I mean, I hate to think as a manager that you'd think if we beat Liverpool, then that gives me more time in the job. I hate to, you know what I mean? You're probably right in what you're saying, and probably that's what, you know, it probably eased the pressure off him. But it should be the case. You know, it should be the case. Well, if I beat Liverpool, that means I've got another 3-4 months left. It's not about beating Liverpool for me. You know, at the start of the season, it wasn't about beating Liverpool or beating Manchester City. It was about challenging for the title. That was the remit. We need to challenge for the title. This is my team. I've got my world-class players in. This is the remit. We need to challenge. Now, prior to this game, Villa, Southampton, Everton, we don't look like a team who's challenging for the title. So I would say if United beat Liverpool 2-3, if they beat him anyway, full stop, that's me. Ollie's great. I think it's okay. I think it's brilliant, because that's not the case. You know, it's
still got hard games.
Still got hard games to play. Let's sit here in 5 weeks' time and, you know, hopefully having a different conversation saying, fucking hell, what a performance that was from United. The momentum's flying. We've won 4 out of 5. You know, that's another conversation. But it starts on Sunday.
But that's what I've been talking about this week. You know, it's about the standards for me, and everyone can go start attacking people and saying this, that, and the other. But it's about the standards. You're right. The start of the season with the players we had was about challenging for the title. We're in the middle of August, and it's pretty clear we're not going to challenge for a title. And yet people want to, you know, champion maybe getting a result against Liverpool or beating Atalanta. But look at the league table, and that's why for me the standards at this football club are on the floor. But if we did win on Saturday and then we lost to Spurs and Man City, he would be safe because our owners are incompetent, and they'd go, well, we beat Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. Liverpool won the league a couple of years ago. So therefore, it shows you're on the right track. And, you know, ultimately, it is all about the standards. But some people are just so locked in this emotional battle with Ollie, they can't move away from the fact that the bigger picture is that we're in a bit of trouble.
But listen, I mean, I can never have the mindset of, well, we beat Liverpool, so we're not far away from them as a team. You know, because the Premier League is about consistency, you know, week in and week out. It's not about inconsistency. So to have that mindset, well, we beat Liverpool last week, or we beat Liverpool this week, and we beat City last week, but we're still 10, 12 points away from Chelsea. What kind of mindset is that to have at a football club? You know, Chelsea wouldn't be thinking that way. Klopp wouldn't thinking that way. You know, nor would Pep. Pep would be saying, oh, well, you know, if we beat Liverpool, that means, you know, they did won it 2 years ago. So look, we're close to them. They don't think that way. Man United can't have this kind of mindset that, oh, because we beat Liverpool, that means we're not far away from it as challenging them. You know, it's absolutely ludicrous way of thinking. And if they
Klopp would be, correct me if I'm wrong, because you played, but Klopp would probably be thinking, I want to win on Sunday, but a draw at Old Trafford in a 38-game season, that's not bad for me, because he's looking at winning the league. Whereas we're going to go, we beat Liverpool. It don't matter that we've dropped points everywhere else because we beat Liverpool, but it's a 38-game season, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, as I say, Liverpool will go there and thinking the point's good enough. You know, it's a game that is, the pressure's on Manchester United more than it is on Liverpool. You know, because as you said, Liverpool are up there flying. You know, Liverpool know United still got to come to Anfield. So this is a bigger game for Manchester United than it is for Liverpool. Listen, Klopp will go there thinking, yeah, we're going to win the game. Klopp's not going there thinking, oh, it'd be good if we come out of Old Trafford with a point. You know, he would look at the last 2 games, the last 3 games, maybe the last 4 games at United and thinking, wow, that defence, they are conceding goals. They're all over the place. You know,
big opportunity for them, innit, if they play well.
Yeah, if they play well. Liverpool play well, big great opportunity. So, listen, here we go in there thinking, yeah, we can win this game. United, we go in there thinking, we have to win this game. And that's the difference on pressures on both teams.
100%. Well, look, Paul, it's your birthday. We're not going to keep hold of you for too long, but time always flies, and really good chat, and great to have a chat after a game like that, ahead of a game like that at the weekend as well. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to get you to do a prediction because that's not fair, but I
always sit on the fence and say a draw.
I think it's going to be a draw. I was going to say that's my prediction anyway. So I just think these games are a lot recently about, you know, it'll get built up, and then it will just be a tight game. Could be won by a penalty, could be a red, you know, it'll be tight, I think.
Yeah, I think what you see is that when the game starts, you see one teams try to win the game. And then after about 20 minutes, you see teams start thinking, oh, we don't want to lose the game. And this is what you'll probably see. The longer it goes on 0-0, then teams will start thinking, oh, we can't lose this now. It's 0-0, 30 minutes to go. And that's what happens. So hopefully, the only way these games can, you know, ignite is if we get an early goal. And it forces teams to open up and play football. That's what I'm hoping for.
Funny enough, it'd be better if Liverpool scored early, because then United will go for it. Because then if United scored early, they'd go, oh my God, we've got to defend this. And then it'll just be, you know, you can see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want Liverpool to score, but I'm just saying on recent history, it looks better if it seems United respond better to going behind.
Liverpool will score. That I will say, because I just can't see, you know, that back four coping with that front three, with their pace and their movement. And the fact that United are just conceding so many goals, you know, it'd be baffling if Liverpool don't score. But obviously, I hope United score too. So that's why I'm saying a draw.
Okay. Lots of people saying happy birthday to you, Paul, just before you go.
Thank you very much.
He is on Instagram. at Paul Ince. Paul Ince official. I'm sure he'll put a birthday picture you can all like. Need to teach him all about social media. But thanks for coming on, mate, and we will speak to you on Monday.
Look forward to it, mate. Let's hope we're smiling on Monday, eh?
Definitely. And thanks everyone for watching. You what?
I hope you're smiling on Monday. You've been grumpy the last couple of weeks, so hopefully you'll be smiling on Monday.
I'll definitely be smiling on Monday if we beat Liverpool.
Perfect. See you like all the other ones. See what I mean?
Oh, I don't think it's problems over, but you know, I can't. Just, as I said last night, I just want United to win. That's what it's all about. And if they keep winning, you're on the right track. But do I believe we're going to keep winning? I think there's a big challenge ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. But you know, that's why you have United for, to deal with these challenges. And if you can't, then you shouldn't be at the club.
I'll let you get off, mate. Happy birthday.
Cheers, Marky. Thank you very much.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh God, I've got my thing on there. Let me change that. Yeah, lovely. I didn't realise it was his birthday till this morning. So, he said he was going to come on, which is absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed that, because I think that what I would say is I'm doing the preview at 2:00, so tune in for that. Got the 8:00 show tonight as usual. But I think that just over the moon with the result last night. Absolutely over the moon. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It was escapism. That 45 minutes was escapism, and that's what football should be. And ultimately, people arguing about who's the right fan, arguing about Ollie in, Ollie out. For me, we're all arguing for the same thing: United winning. And if you're not arguing for United winning, why do you support United? So I loved that 45 minutes. I loved Ronaldo's header. I loved the results, but it was escapism, because this morning I've woke up and I'm like, bloody hell. Because it's about the Premier League now, and Champions League's been parked for a couple of weeks, because in the Premier League we've got 1 point from 9. We've got 14 from 24, and we're about to play Liverpool, Spurs and Man City. 3 really difficult games. And really, we need to take 9 points to get the season back on track. And we should be demanding 9 points. But there will be people who go, wow, if we take 4, it's good. It's not good when you've dropped 10 points already. We've got to take 9. And for me, if we don't get that, then we're in big trouble. Apparently, there's a tweet just come out here. Let me just have a quick look about Donny van der Beek. Let me have a look. He's finished at United anyway, isn't he? So Ollie on lack of game time for Donny van der Beek. When you see our team, we've got good players. I hope for Donny that he gets his chances and then takes them. Now I didn't need him, but I know I can always count on him. Okay. He doesn't want to use him. Just doesn't want to use him at the end of the day. Right. I don't know whether I'm still on the screen here. I might have frozen out, but everything's frozen. Oh, I'm back now. Anyway, look, I'm going to finish. We'll be back at 2:00 for the preview. Make sure you tune in for that. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Happy birthday to Paul, and I hope you all have a good day as well. I'll speak to you in a bit.